In this video, I'm going to cover the steps necessary to get reliable and stable position hold. Now, if you recall when we installed the compute kit, I mentioned installing the ARK Flow cable into the CAN 1 port. So that's where we'll plug into. And as a refresher, our ARK Flow sensor by default is mounted here on the right side of the drone, with this being the nose of the drone. And let me just give a quick demonstration of a flight test so you can see the performance. So I'm currently toggled into position mode. This is the third switch position, the one all the way towards the pilot. At any point in time, you can give stick input, right, left, forward, back, up and down. And at any point in time when you let off the sticks, your drone will maintain its current position. In the video description, I am going to put a link to this gist. You can download these parameters and load them into PX4. I'll cover them at a high level, and I'll also mention that in the PX4 guide, if you want to get into a little bit more detail related to these parameters, the position of the ARK flow as it relates to the center of gravity, all of that is covered here in the documentation. So once again, in the video description, I'll have a link to the parameters as well as the PX4 docs for ARK flow. So at a high level, we're going to enable optical flow control. We want to disable GPS control. We'll set some min and max parameters for the sensing height. The ARK flow sensor covers both optical flow, your XY positioning, as well as your vertical or Z positioning. So here we have the offset that I provided by default. These are in units of meters. So this is the position of the sensor as it relates to the center of gravity with the drone. And just a quick reference is positive X is forward towards the nose, positive Y is off to the right, and then positive Z is down. Then we have some additional configuration parameters. These are for our DexEOS, which we will be covering in an upcoming video. But that being said, I'm going to switch over to Q ground control. I'm currently connected to my PixHawk via USB cable. And a quick call out before we get into our flow configuration. For this year's 2025 competition, we recommend being on PX4 1.16. So for both drones, that will be a requirement just because it's the latest with a lot of new features. And we want to make sure that everyone is operating from this current version, 1.16. What we'll do is we'll go down to parameters, and in the top right, you'll see a tools menu. I'll click on that and I'll click load from file. And I've downloaded the gist. It'll come down as a zip file. You'll unzip it. Then you'll have your params file. So I'll select that, click open. You'll see all the params that we're changing. And so just to verify that these parameters have been loaded, I'll click on show modified only. And then if we get down here to the optical flow control, you'll see that it says enabled. And one thing I always recommend doing after you load params is go to tools, click reboot vehicle. You'll see that our summary is loaded. I'll go back to parameters, just do a quick check. We have our optical flow control enabled. And another sanity check that we can make is I'll go to Analyze Tools, Mavlink Inspector, and you'll notice that we have these topics for the distance sensor as well as the optical flow radians. And the final check that I like to do is I'm currently powered up with battery on the bench. My transmitter is powered up and I have my kill switch enabled. You can see here where it says red and not ready. It tells us that our kill switch is engaged, flight termination is active, but then I will toggle my flight mode switch. We'll start with the top position, the middle position, and the third position, always towards the pilot. That is position mode, and we're currently enabled. If we were not able to get in position hold, PX4 would reject this command, so now we know that it's getting information from ARK Flow, enabling us to toggle into position mode. You'll see here by default, I'm going to just, for a first test, take off in stabilize mode. It's always safe to know how your drone behaves and make sure that you can pilot it properly. Now I've toggled into altitude mode. That'll maintain a consistent Z or altitude above the ground. And now I've toggled into position mode. That switch position is all the way towards the pilot. See here that it's holding position nicely based on our configuration. And then I'll go ahead and descend and land. Great job in getting this far with the build and enabling position hold. Be sure to click on the links beneath the video, get everything up and running. In the next video, we'll get into some of the more exciting software stuff related to DexEOS.